Just sitting here thinking about so many different things. But I remember back in the 80s, um, there was a campaign by the first lady at the time, Nancy Reagan, and it was trademarked with you know, a logo, not a logo, a slogan. Um, just say no. Um, and it's weird, but at the time, we were hit with the drug epidemic. That's what they were calling it. Um, and it was just an influx of drugs in the inner city and things like this. And, you know, under peer pressure and, the lure and of drugs, from drug dealers, you know, what the slogan was or what was being forced on the youth at that time was just say no, you know. Um, and it was really like a slap in the face because it was much worse than, anything that the campaign that came from, um, that White House and what she was trying to do. It was, Lily White, and of an effort, to try to combat the drug epidemic. However, um, there was also a DARE program, which I was a part of growing up. They brought it through the school system. It was drug awareness resistance education. And, police officer come in there. He opened up a briefcase. He got a cocktail of drugs and he'll talk about, what each kind of drug does, barbiturates, stimulants, depressants, things like this. And, and then they would actually go through these scenarios like how somebody would try to offer you drugs or get you to try drugs, sell drugs, or be a drug mule or whatever. And they had to sign these certificates and everything like that, and a pledge not to ever get involved in drugs and stuff like that. I go into like I'm one of those people. It didn't. I thought I signed the certificate, but as it would have it, I use drugs amongst other things. And nothing I'm proud of. However, as I see things now, and being on both sides of drugs, user and distributor, like I understand what's going on, and I've been rehabilitated from a life of insanity. And I thank God I'm able to see things really for what they are. And I always have, but I was just, you know, caught up. But what amazes me is how, like, there's so much cognitive dissonance in this world, and people who are unwilling to be honest with themselves and the people around them and to accept the truth for what it is. But I'm gonna say something, and it probably is gonna, make some people feel um, alienated. But you shouldn't ever trust a drug dealer. Um, they're not people like of high stature. They might have nice things and they might talk proper, talk sweet, and come with some game or whatever, but they're not admirable people. And when I say drug dealers, I mean drug dealers. There ain't no difference. I don't care what kind of drug you peddling. You a drug dealer, then you're a death merchant. Because drugs impair your mind, um, and they disconnect people from reality. No matter how you look at it. I don't care if we talking about aspirin, because aspirins really just numb your nerve endings and block pain. But instead of dealing with pain another way, you just adding a drug to it. I know that may sound extreme, but now let's take it to like street drugs, cocaine, heroin, whatever. Okay, yeah, nobody wants to touch those. We know those drugs. We see the effects of it. Laws have been written to criminalize it and everything. So we see what those drug dealers get and how it affects the drug user, right? Um, Look at these drug dealers though on the other side of that pen. You know, we put pen to paper and then back it up with guns, and that's just the law. It ain't got to be right, but somebody put pen and paper, it comes a law. Somebody votes on it, and then they back it with guns. Okay, that don't make it right. But these drug companies, let's say Pfizer, you know, the most fine company in the history of the world, responsible for the opioid epidemic, and now they have a drug out on the market, um, and they have the perfect racket going because they're using taxpayer dollars, the government, to buy the drug from these people and then make it a requirement as much as possible, stepping all over the Constitution, but making it damn near impossible to get around and function without it, or scare people into thinking that that's what they can do until a certain point in time. And people trust these drug dealers. Like, it isn't no cure in it. Like, they totally sold people out on some bullshit. Like, the thing don't even work. But they operate it just like a drug dealer does. Like, they sell you on a lie. Like it's something that's gonna make you feel better or promise you something that it doesn't do. And then leave you hanging in the end. You have to deal with the side effect or the consequences. It's really no difference. These are drug dealers. And they're good at what they do. They have a lot of money, influence, and the government now. Like, they got the government by the balls. Like, locked, stock, and loaded. Like, and that's the greatest lick they could have ever come up with. But I guess my message in all of this is just to tell people, you ain't crazy. And if you have done these drugs that's out of the market right now that was forced upon you or scared and you were fear mongered into getting it because of the media, which is the other piece, that Pfizer owns the media. They own all the major media outlets. You could still like detox from those drugs, and you could just say no to the rest of the shit that they try to push out and force down your throat. Just say no. Like Nancy Reagan said all them years ago, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Now all we had to do was say no to crack, weed, and heroin. Y'all say no to this fucking shit that they pushing out now. Your kids got caught up on the damn opioids, and they bailed out the companies now by saying, okay, y'all paid out all them billions of dollars for the opioid epidemic. We'll get your money back with this vaccine. We're gonna make motherfuckers take this shit. Yo, it's whatever, man. But you should never trust a drug dealer. All they want to do is sell you their drug. And if they could get you hooked and to keep coming back, that's the best thing. And they don't care what it leaves you with. They ain't trying to fix you. They ain't trying to give you something that's gonna last forever. They want you to keep coming back. In fact, the more side effects it gives you, the better it works for them, because then they give you another drug for that shit. A drug to fix a drug to fix another drug that they fucked up. You know? We need to turn against all these motherfuckers. You know? But I'm gonna shame the devil real quick. We need to get rid of Bill Gates Anthony Fauci, the board of directors at Pfizer, the United States government, the executive branch we don't need anymore. We do not need a president at all. And all those government agencies that didn't have the courage to be independent and stand up on science and humanitarian rights, the CDC, the FDA, the World Health Organization, which is a crock, like all of them need to go. We don't need none of them. So it's just a little piece of my mind. I feel better getting it out. Do whatever you want, but I'm going to tell you, like I told you a couple of times in this little clip, don't ever trust a drug dealer. One, y'all be good.